Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial of a standard fill. So this is my client Natasha, and today we are going to be doing a standard fill on her. So a standard fill is about an hour and 15 minutes long, and your client, my clients at least, have to have about 40 to 50% of the lashes remaining, lash extensions that is, whenever coming back in for a fill. I always tell my clients, if you can count the amount of natural lash or the amount of lash extensions that you have on left, then it's probably not a fill. You need to book a full set. So lash artists, if you are watching this, please make sure that when your clients are coming in, they have the correct amount of lash extensions to be considered a fill. If you are giving them fill pricing but you're giving full set work, then yeah, you definitely need to make sure you are speaking with your clients and letting them know, if you're not taking care of your lashes, then you're going to have to be booking full sets, paying a little bit more each time versus taking care of your lashes and coming in for, your express or standard or ultra fills. So yeah, just make sure you're taking care of yourself because it happens a lot. It's happened to me and I've used to do it. I would let so many clients come in and knowing they needed full sets but still giving them fills and yet charging fill pricing, and you're pretty much overworking yourself. You're using up all your products too, and like I said, if your clients are not taking care of their extensions, then you need to be charging them for full sets, girl. Okay, that's just some high maintenance lash tips for you. Okay, so yeah, drying out her lashes. As you can see, I just dried and brushed out her lashes. So first thing I'm going to do is I am now going to go in and remove any of the outgrown extensions. Usually when I do a lash bath, some of them will fall out, but I also make sure to go in on the lashes that are remaining and make sure that they are good enough to stay on her lash line. If they are outgrown or not sitting correctly to the base of the natural lash, then I'm just going to go ahead and remove them and replace them with some fresh new extensions. So remember, whenever you are doing her removal of these old extensions, I like to use the banana peel method or the pinch method. You can use either or. Just make sure that you are not pulling on your client's natural lash at all. You're not hurting her. As you can see, my client's not twitching or moving or anything whenever I am popping off those old extensions, because she shouldn't feel anything. It should not be a painful process. I only preach this because I used to have a lash artist who literally would just rip them out of my eye, and it would hurt so bad, and I knew it wasn't right, but I just never said anything because I thought she knew what she was doing. So you never want to make your client feel any sort of pain or anything like that, especially, and this comes to application and removing lashes. Anytime you're doing lashes, there should be no pain. So make sure that you are removing those lashes as safely as possible, and then we will get into the application process coming up. Okay, so now we are going to take our micropore tape and we are going to tape up her top lash layer and have those bottom lashes get exposed, and we are going to fill in with our volume. Okay, so we are doing a dramatic cat eye. So her bottom layer, we are going to be placing our sizes 14 millimeter on her outer corner. Okay, so I'm going to do this on both sides because I like to work on both eyes at once, because it helps you make sure you are keeping your coverage and fullness across the same on both eyes. Okay, one thing we hate is a super heavy cat eye on one eye and then on the other eye not as heavy, or not having that fullness across. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Eyelash Queen's Lash Houdini clear adhesive. You can use code HM20 and receive some money off. I love her product. She has the best glue, really super good lashes as well too, all the good stuff, especially if you are a lash fanatic. So As you can see, I'm shaking up my glue really good. I already shook it up, but I like to kind of shake it up again right before application. That way I know that everything is mixed and good to go. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to place my volume all throughout her bottom lash layer. And like I was telling you earlier, this is a dramatic cat eye, okay? So the secret to creating a super dramatic cat eye is jumping sizes, at least 1 or 2 sizes between. Okay, so in the middle section that I'm working on, like I said, her outer corners are 14 millimeter, but once I get to that middle section right there, I'm actually going to drop down to a 12 millimeter. Okay, so it goes from 12 millimeter and just jump straight up to 14 millimeter on the outer corner. Okay, so I'm going to just go in and fill in her lashes with all volume fans. Okay, the lashes I'm using are actually from Lash Architect, and I am using, sorry, I completely blanked. It's actually 0.03 diameter. Okay, and like I said, CC curl. So yeah, so let's just fill these lashes in and we will get to the final product soon. Okay, y'all, so I totally blanked and forgot that this is actually a Wispy cat eye set that we are doing. Or not set, but fill. Okay, so she already, like I said, we already have done this mapping on her for a while. My client takes really good care of her lashes, so she comes in for fills every 2 or 3 weeks, and like I said, she usually can still do a standard fill, so that's really good because some people at 2 or 3 weeks are needing a full set. So yeah, like I was saying, this is a Wispy cat eye. So remember, on her outer corner we are doing the 14 millimeter, kind of from like the arch of her brow to that outer corner of her brow. We are going to be doing our sizes 14 mm, and then like I said, in the middle, that's whenever we're going to jump down and actually go to 12 millimeter on her middle section. Okay, so okay, y'all, so like I said, remember, working in sections is a lot easier, especially if you're trying to get, save some time, but still make sure you're giving some good fullness throughout your refill or your new set, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, so go ahead and take your tape, and now you're going to tape the inner corner section. Okay, so make sure and tape up those lashes. That way, whatever is available on the bottom, you can go ahead and fill those in and make sure she's having, like I said, that fullness all the way from the outer corner to her middle to her inner corner. Okay, so the sizes we are going to be using for her inner corner is going to start at a 9 millimeter, and then we are going to go 10 millimeter, and then 11, and then like I said, we filled in our 12s in the middle and our 14s on our outer corner. Okay, so this is going to be a really pretty cat eye with the perfect amount of wispy fullness to it. Okay, okay, so same thing, we are going to go in and fill in these bottom lashes with our volume fans. Okay, so make sure your volume fans are really nice and fluffy, have a good base. Since we're doing a volume wispy cat eye, we want our fans to be, have a nice fullness to them. Obviously not super mega, but also not super small. Okay, so make sure you have a nice base, and we're just gonna go in and fill her in with this volume all along those bottom lashes that are available for us to lash. I am making my volume by hand. If you are struggling to make your volume fans, I definitely recommend y'all just book a class, practice some technique, watch some tutorials, do what you have to do, practice every day. Okay, volume is a skill itself. It does not just come to you. It takes lots and lots of practice, lots of patience, lots of energy. Make sure you are using a good glue. Make sure you are using glue cups with the slits that help you make your base. Make sure your tweezers fit. a lot goes into making volume, not just the lashes, not just the technique, you know. So make sure, like I said, make sure that you have good lashes to work with, good glue rings, all that good stuff. Okay, so like I said, as you can see, I filled her in pretty good so far, and that was just filling her in with the bottom. Okay, so now what we are going to do is I'm actually gonna go in and place my spikes now. Okay, so now that her bottom lashes are all full, the lashes that are remaining are probably going to be in her middle or top lash layer. So we're going to go in and place our spikes. Since she did 14 millimeter on the outer corner, our spikes on the outer corner are going to be 16 millimeter. Okay, so like I said, from the arch of her brow to all the way to that outer tail of her brow area, we are going to place 16 millimeter CC curl spikes on there. Okay, so for the spikes, I'm going to be using a higher diameter. You want to make sure you use a higher diameter, that way it kind of stands out. If you are using the same diameter as your volume fans, that's okay. Just make sure that your spikes are like a little extra heavier and a little bit fuller, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, now I'm gonna go in and, like I said, place those spikes along. So since I did 16 on her outer corner, once I hop in on her middle section right there, kind of going into that 12 area, I'm going to be using some 15 millimeter and 14 millimeter spikes in that section. Okay, so 15 is kind of transitioning out of that 16 area, and then I, you know, like I said, like to go lower and lower. So in the middle, like I said, where the 12s are sitting at, those spikes are going to be actually a size 14 millimeter. Once I get to my inner corner section, like as you can see me now, where the 9s are at, I'm going to place a size 11 spike on that corner. Once I move to the 10 section, I'm going to place a spike 12 on that corner. And once I move to the 11 millimeter section, it's going to be size spike 13 millimeter. Okay, so I know that probably sounds a little crazy, and I know a mapping would probably, you know, make a little bit more sense, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing as I'm doing this fill. Okay, so like I said, it's a wispy cat eye fill, and so you can see from the looking at this angle too, you know, that it's going from pretty short to dramatic on the outer corner, and that's what we want when doing a cat eye. Okay, so always remember, whenever you're doing a cat eye, it's transitioning up pretty quickly. Like I said, this is a dramatic cat eye, so we jumped from, you know, size 12 to 14, and then size, you know, spikes 14 to 16 just within that outer corner section. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and fill her in. I got super tongue-tied. I'm going to just go ahead and fill her in with volume after I'm done placing my spikes. And of course, you can see me mirror checking my work as I'm going through, because like I said, we just want to make sure that our fullness, our thickness, and our coverage is there evenly on both eyes. Okay, so I know this was a super quick tutorial, y'all, but I just feel like the quicker they are, the easier they are to watch a little bit. The super long tutorials, they just don't do it for me, and I'm always like, oh, just get to the point. Just get to the point. Okay, so make sure and dry your client out for about 2 minutes. You want to make sure that your glue is set and the lashes are, like I said, sitting nice and pretty, and checking our angles, making sure everything is good to go before we take off our iPads. Okay, so make sure and dry your client out for about 2 minutes or so, and brush her out as well. That way, if any of those lashes didn't adhere, they'll probably brush off, or whenever you are brushing them, they'll probably pop off. So go ahead and give her a good brush, and then if that happens, you can go ahead and fix anything. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Eyelash Queen's lash sealer. So like I said, I used her glue earlier. Personally, I like to use my sealer and my glue like together because I feel like it works better for me. Everyone has their own preference, but I do recommend using a lash sealer, because whenever you use a lash sealer, you seal in any extra fumes, make sure the lashes adhere correctly, no irritation or anything your clients will experience if you're using a lash bonder or sealer. Okay, if you are using a nebulizer or a nano mister, that's okay too. Either one works, and they both do the same thing, and that's all we want. Okay, so Last but not least, give my client a very, very good brush because I'm fixing to take off her iPads. So I just want her lashes, like I said, sitting nice and pretty and ready for her viewing pleasure. Okay, this is honestly my favorite part. I feel like I say it every time. Make sure and like and subscribe, guys. I love you all. Thank y'all for joining me in today's tutorial. I will be back soon with more. Enjoy the view. Okay, I can't roll my R's. Bye, y'all.